Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today we have an amazing actor slash producer. We have with us the amazing Kareem Grimes. How you doing today, Kareem?
I'm good, Kevin. How you doing, man? Thank you for having me to the blackscript.com.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for joining. We truly
Yeah.
appreciate it. Appreciate your time, and I'm excited to talk to you, man.
Same here, man. Let's get to it.
Yes, yes, sir. So, without further ado, I like to begin every episode with a simple question, but some might find it difficult to answer. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
That question is, who is Kareem Grimes?
Ah, yes, that's a good question. That is a good Kareem Grimes, man. Inglewood, Inglewood born and raised. Grew up in South Central, God fearing, um, actor, people of the community, man. And I just like to really just be, just a good person, man. Just trying to do my part in this world, with what the talent that I have, and just being of service. That's who Kareem Grimes is, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like that. You definitely have to reach back and be of service to the community, and also
Yeah,
portray the community.
yeah,
Portray your peers the way you would want to be portrayed as well. And so
absolutely.
that leads me into my next question, which is,
Mhm,
you're an actor and producer.
mhm.
How did you get your start in this business?
Man, I started doing extra work, man. And I was taking acting classes as well. Um, Angela and Marla Gibbs, the incomparable, iconic
Yes.
Marla Gibbs. That was my first start. So I was able to get and build my foundation as an actor. Where my acting coach was Whitman Mayo, who played Grady on Sanford and Son.
Wow.
So this is my introduction to acting class. So to have Marla Gibbs and Whitman Mayo, those are the people whose shoulders that I stand on. And just doing extra work, and boom, I find myself on this little movie. You may have heard of it. It's called Boyz in the Hood.
Yes.
This young man named John Singleton. Yeah, so I found myself on set 2 weeks in the shooting, man, and he's like talking to the kids, and he just picked me out and was just like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna give you some lines, and are you cool with that?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And from there on, that's how I was able to get in the Screen Actors Guild Union, and that was really the spark that I needed to really just pursue my career. And I've never stopped, and I've continued to hold the torch, and go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So you
Mhm.
were on set of Boys in the Hood as an extra?
Yes, I was actually. They were at that time. My mom's friend was in the business. She would say, "Hey, they're looking for some black boys, some young black men who skateboard." And at that time, I was heavy into skateboarding, and that's how I found myself, on set of Boys in the Hood. I'm looking at Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne, and Ice Cube when he had the fresh curl. You
Mhm.
know, so yeah, absolutely, and a young Nia Long too.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing, man.
Mhm.
Amazing. Okay, so most of us know you from your hit series All American. Your character
Mhm.
is Preach on the show. Uh,
Mhm.
what has it been like working on such a phenomenal series like All American?
Amazing learning experience, family. You know, there is I'm just blessed, man. I wrote it on a vision board in 2013, 2014, and I just said to be on a number one rated hit show, you
Wow.
know, and fast forward, man, and this show has lasted for 6 seasons. Um, I was only supposed to do 1 to 2 episodes. My character, because he gets shot in the last episode of the first season,
Right.
and the relationship that I have with the showrunner and Keche, um, we worked together prior to me getting on the show. I did her first script for television, which was Bones,
Oh,
and
wow.
once again, fast forward here, she's a showrunner, so she knows I'm capable of the work. And it's just about showing up, being nice,
Mhm.
and hitting my marks and getting in, getting out. But that show is a blessing, man. Each and every day I see her, each and every time I see her on set, I give her a big hug, and I tell her, you changed my life.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing to be on that show. I'm just happy to be a part of it, and that people connect with my character.
Yeah. You stated in your response, as far as getting in and getting out and getting, delivering your lines.
Mhm.
I did not ask, but that wanted me to ask. Um,
Mhm.
as far as your training coming up as an actor,
Mhm.
where did you receive your training?
Of course, Marley Gibbs, and then the bulk of my training, I studied with a few people, but really, I think when the light went off, as far as truly, fully understanding what this craft is Susan Batson. With At the time, it was called Black Nexus,
Mm.
and it was her son Carl Batson and Susan Batson, and from that point on, the light switch went off, and I was just like, oh, okay, what I mean, as far as just the techniques and substitutions and things of that nature. So and then just studying with I just believe in studying with multiple people. I look at it as gumbo.
Right.
What I'm saying, being able to study here, something may resonate with that teacher there, and then you go somewhere else and that may resonate. Yeah, so between Susan Batson and then New LA Collective with Greg Braun, who also studied up under Susan Batson. But I'm just a student of the game, period. I'll and then being on set, I've worked with, George Clooney and Clint Eastwood and Tay Diggs and Jamie Foxx. That's class right there. You know what I mean? So I'm a student of the game. I'm very observant, and I just know how to ask the right questions.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Um, now back to All American.
Hmm.
You guys have been renewed for a sixth season, which is
Hmm.
premieres April 1st,
Yeah.
2024 here. How excited are you about this new season?
Super excited. I think we left off with Preach getting the job at South Crenshaw. So I think this season you're really seeing him settle in as a teacher at South Crenshaw and dealing with the students and the things that that come and the responsibility of being a teacher. I think you guys will be able to see how Preach is handling that in season 6, and yeah, I'm just super excited, man. I think this is probably going to be one for the books as well.
Right. And within your character over the years, they've kind of changed your dynamic a little bit to where you're focused on raising up your daughter.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about how important it is, as a black man, and being able to portray a black father, a black single father, who is
Mhm.
trying to raise their child up right.
I think it needs to be shown. I don't think there's enough images of that. It's usually the single mother
Right.
or two-parent home, but I think the dynamic, which is real, is that we have single fathers out there as well. So NK and the writers do a great justice as far as being able to show the dynamic of a father wanting to be a father to his daughter, going through, you know, the courts to get custody of his child, and it just goes to show, you know, yeah, there are some fathers out there, black fathers, fathers of color, who, you know, are dedicated and want to be in their want to be in their child's life, and they'll, you know, they'll go through, you know, hoops and everything to make sure that they know that they tell their child and let them know that, hey, I want to be in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this new season.
Yeah.
See what direction your character goes into,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh
you know.
yeah.
What has it been like working with the rest of the cast of the show?
It's a family. You know, we've been together for 6 seasons, you know, so we're very close. We all get along. Everybody is like, does anybody have any beef with? No, we literally all get along. We support each other's projects, whatever they're doing, whether it's music or fashion or whatever it is. We always support each other, man. And, you know, it just shows, especially on social media. You know, we clown around on TikTok and Instagram and the whole nine, because we generally love spending time with each other, and we literally have a good time. And I think everybody recognizes that, you know, we're blessed to be number one, working, but on a show that has, you know, that has surpassed expectations.
Mhm.
You know, and I think we all recognize how blessed we are, and, you know, we just don't take that for granted. So we hold each other accountable, and we hold each other up.
Yeah. You guys obviously didn't know it was going to stick around for 6 seasons.
Yeah, yeah. I think as an actor, we're just happy to work. But, you know,
Yeah.
once again, that's just a true testament of NK, the showrunner, is starting from the top and trickling down, and just making sure that, you know, we're doing our jobs, we're on point, and you know, making sure we bring the best possible stories and entertainment to you guys each and every Monday.
Now, for the love of Jason, it's a
Yeah.
show that I'm not quite familiar with.
Hmm.
Tells a story about being a single man, single black man in your 30s,
Hmm.
from a male point of view, a male perspective.
Yeah.
How did that show come about?
Trell Woodbury is the creator and the writer, and he also stars in the show. And I've known Trell for years. You know, just being in LA and in, you know, the scene of Hollywood and the hustle and bustle, we know some of the same people. And you know, the opportunity presented itself to be able to audition for his show, and you know, I was able to get on, man. And, you know, that was another show that was literally like just going to work with your friends, having a good time. You know, BJ Britt, Layla Brayley, Jack A. It was an amazing cast, but most importantly, we had fun doing it as well.
Okay. And
Mhm.
there's 2 seasons of that.
Yeah,
Is there expected to be a third season?
that's a question you have to ask All Black.
Okay.
That is an All Black question. We don't know. We thought we were, but that's a question for All Black.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed, man. And I'll
Yeah.
also, brush up my knowledge and watch the show, because
Hmm.
that was a show that I was unaware that you were a part of. Uh,
Yeah.
but moving forward,
Mhm.
you are now currently on the new series on Netflix called The Vince Staples Show. Uh,
Yes.
and you play Uncle Mike on The Vince
Hmm.
Staples Show. Can you talk a little bit about who your character is, and what your role is on the show?
Yeah, I play Uncle Mike. I think everybody has an Uncle Mike in their family, or a Auntie Michelle, but an Uncle Mike for sure. You know, Uncle Mike is he's your uncle that, you know, he pushes you forward, especially if you're doing something. He always has these ideas of what you can do better in your life.
Mhm.
And because Vince Staple is Vince Staple, and he's a rapper and a very successful rapper, you have those family members that come to you and that lean on you.
Yeah.
I remember I had a cousin. It was like, yo, man, it'll be good for you to do this movie idea that I got, man. All you got to do is call Tyler Perry and y'all can put that thing together. And I'm just like, why is it in the Black community? People think that we have Tyler Perry's number on speed dial, that we can just call Tyler Perry and be like, hey, Tyler, you ready to do this movie? And it just doesn't work that way. But that is kind of like who Uncle Mike is. He's very conscious, because he talks about, bringing back the Black Wall Street to Long Beach, to the beach, because Vince is very successful. You got the money. We can make some things happen. I got some business ideas doing with me. What I'm saying, nephew? So that's who Uncle Mike is, but I think you need family members like that to number one, support you, push you, and just be there for you. But that in a nutshell, who Uncle Mike is. He has all these great ideas, and the execution and the follow through may not be together. He may have a great idea, but no business plan.
Right. We all know people like that for sure.
Exactly.
So if you could, in a nutshell, can you kind of explain what the Vince Staples Show is about?
Vince Staples, if anybody, Vince Staples is number one, he's a rapper first, but I think people really responded to his interviews. Vince is this young dude from North Long Beach, very smart, intelligent, but his thought process is very different from what you would think a young man's thought process is. And that makes Vince Staples Vince Staples. That makes him stick out. And this is pretty much the stories that he's told, which are real stories. To some people, they may be jokes, but these are actually real life situations that he's dealt with. Wow. And it's just the nuggets, the stories, what he's giving inside of these, these real life situations that make for a great show. And that's who Vince Staples is. It's, it's kind of a cross between Atlanta meets Curb Your Enthusiasm, to where it's just an everyday, we take a little glimpse into Vince Staples' everyday life. And what happens, and these are the elements that he has dealt with coming up, and this is what the Vince Staples Show is pretty much all about.
Yeah, and he pretty much stays cool, calm, and collective throughout.
Very, very calm and collective. And Vince Staples' personality is just, a lot of his stuff is just deadpan, but he's serious.
Yeah, very serious. I enjoy a lot of his interviews on the Joe Budden podcast.
Exactly. Yep.
He's a very insightful guy. Very highly intelligent. I love his music as well. He's definitely one of my favorite artists from the West Coast. Yeah, I like his way of thinking, and I like his business sense also, because he gives a different perspective as to how
Absolutely.
to,
Absolutely.
So yeah, shout out to Vince Staples, man.
Yeah.
So so let me ask you, what did it take for you to begin to land these kinds of roles? A lot of times, actors coming up in their career, they go through a long span of doing small role gigs. How did you get to where you are today?
Just consistency, the sheer belief in myself, and just doing the work. I've been in this game since maybe 88, 89. And, I've had my ups and downs, but I've been consistent, and it's interesting, being on All American, people are like, oh, this is a new guy. But then when they go back and Google me, or, look on IMDb, they're like, oh my God, he was on this show, this show, this show, this show. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just, just being consistent and just doing the work, and letting my work speak for itself. That's what I've always been about. And I don't feel like I need to holler like, hey, look at me, I'm this actor, da, 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 da. And it's just like, no, my work speaks for itself, and I stand on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, has there been a memorable moment throughout your career that you could probably say has been a true highlight, that you love to talk about?
There's several, but I think this one sticks out the most. This one is just really, being consistent. There was a show called The Shield on FX with Michael Chiklis.
Yes.
Sean Ryan was I think the executive producer, showrunner. Auditioned for that show like 17 times,
Wow.
and the 17th time I end up booking the show and doing 3 seasons on that show. But I think the message of it is that I had to look at it. I had to look at it from a certain angle, and my agent at the time had to remind me. And I was just like, man, why they keep calling me? It's 17 times they said, no. Like, what the heck? The normal person probably would have been like, after the third one or fourth one, I don't even want to go no more. Forget it. And he told me, he was like, listen, if they're calling you back, that means they like you.
Mhm.
And I had to sit with that and think about that, and it was just like, okay. He was like, the moment the phone stops ringing and they stop calling you, then that's when you should be worried.
Yes.
So for me, it was just like, okay, just continue to show up each and every day, and give 110%, and leave no stone unturned. So for me, it was just about being consistent and just showing up and just doing the work. And what's for you is for you, and nothing can stop that. And I think that for me sticks out the most in my career. And then just like I said, the relationships that I've built, with NK doing her first script for TV, her very first script for TV. She's coming from the corporate world, I think working at the Federal Reserve, and she jumps in and she does her script, and it's for a show called Bones, where I play a young man from Sierra Leone who was an amputee, and then working on that show, and then Jamie Turner, who's a writer also, who is now a co-showrunner on All American. I met him while on The Shield.
Oh, wow.
He was a story editor on The Shield. You know what I mean? So once again, meeting these two people, different times, different points of my career. And here we go, fast forward, they're both on this show, working. And it just goes to show, being nice, showing up, doing the work, goes a long way, man. And, I'm pretty sure if I wasn't nice, or if I wasn't able to do my job, we probably wouldn't be on this. I would probably wouldn't be talking to you right now on blackscript.com. You know what I mean? So this is a true testament of just doing the work, being nice, and being consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. And you definitely have to be consistent,
Yeah,
show up. You have to be determined,
yeah,
but to have patience.
yes, a lot of patience, a lot of patience.
Yeah, but it serves you well in the end. In the long run, it pays.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
so outside of acting, you're also a producer, and
Mhm.
um, most recently you produced a film uh, called Stay Out.
Stay out. Hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about that film? It's a horror flick, and
Yeah.
it's on BET Plus, correct?
Yes, yes. Big shout out to Erica Peoples and Damien and the Lux Studios and Jared Safier for, bringing me on. I got the call, and that was the offer, like, hey, we want you to be a part of this project, and we definitely want to make you a producer, as well, so you can have some input on this. And this is my first lead in a film. So for me, it was just like, why not? I think this is just the progression of the progress of this career of mine, is to really just challenge myself, to let people know, hey, I can lead a movie,
Yes.
and I'm able to, put the producer hat on as well. So it was a great opportunity. I jumped at it, and we were able to shoot that. I think we shot that in like 8 days, 8, 9 days.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Where was the location?
here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Here in Los Angeles, yeah, yeah. So, there's some areas. We shot in Pasadena. There's this strip of land with these Victorian homes who that been there since maybe the 1800s or maybe 1900s or whatever. So it's literally like maybe 5 or 6 houses. So that was kind of like the backdrop. And that's what we shot it at. And yeah, I'm super proud of it. And, just like I said, to let people know I can be able to lead a film.
Absolutely. So, okay. So obviously you want to lead more films and you want to be involved in more films.
Yeah.
What's the type of role that you might be looking for?
Oh man, I think really just the role that kind of gives a little bit of comedy and drama. I think what comes to mind is American Fiction. Jeffrey Wright is probably one of my favorite actors,
Mine
but
too.
that film alone, American Fiction, gave you both. You were able to see the dramatic side, but you were also able to see the comedy side. So I think that for me is probably a dream role to where I can be able to make you cry and laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then as far as producing, are you looking to produce more projects in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a couple projects that I'm behind right now that I'm pushing. So yeah, that I think that's once again is just probably a natural progression if you're in this business,
Mm.
to be able to produce, definitely, direct as well, and create. So that's just that's a part of it, and that's what I plan on doing.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, what is next for you? Do you have anything lined up in the near future that you can talk about?
I have a project that I'm looking to pitch, that I'm also starring in. So that, and then I have a docu series that I'm a producer on as well. So looking to get those things pitched and put on a network soon.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you want to actually get picked up by a network, and then from there, you start to go into production after the network.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it, and with the Vince Staples show, and it's getting these great reviews. We hopefully we get picked up for a second season, and also for All American, if we can get picked up for a seventh season, that'll be great as well. So yeah,
Keep you working, man. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Keep grinding. Well, Kareem, I thank you so much for joining and giving us your
Absolutely.
time, your knowledge, your expertise.
Yeah.
I'd like to give my guests the final word, whether that be words of advice, words of encouragement, or a quote that you like to live by. You could
Mhm.
say all three, or you could say one of those. It's up to you.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Whatever you want to do in life, I truly feel that you have to make deposits. And I look at it as a bank. The more deposits that you make into your career, the greater your return will be. So if you're not making these deposits each and every day towards your goal, towards your why, towards whatever you want to do in life, then that your return is not going to yield what you want from it. So, definitely just make those daily deposits. And when it's time to withdraw, you'll have more than enough to be able to to take and do what you want with it. And another one is I call paying myself. And paying yourself is whatever that is. For me, it's working out. If you're, meditating, praying, writing down in a journal, whatever it is, but make sure you pay yourself before you can pay anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that one, man.
Yeah.
Again, man, Kareem Grimes, thank you so much for joining.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it. That's Kareem Grimes, everybody.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate it, brother.
Yes, appreciate you. Appreciate you.